everybody, welcome back to Unbelievable English. Today, we're going to be looking at a game called Manhattan. In Manhattan, we're going to be building buildings. We want to build the biggest buildings. We want to build the most buildings. But there's a problem, because the other players at the table can steal buildings from us if we're not careful. We can only say that a building is ours if we control the top floor of that building. And so we're going to be building these buildings and trying to protect them from other people. And we're going to get points based on who has the tallest building, who has the most buildings in each area, and based on how many buildings we have. And that's really the basics of the game. So, in Manhattan, we're going to be building buildings, we're going to be stealing buildings from each other, and we're going to be having fun trying to navigate and figure out where to put our building pieces as we build up the city of Manhattan. All right, guys, so let's look at the components for Manhattan. Now, in Manhattan, you're going to start the game with 12 one-level, one-story building pieces. You're going to start the game with 6 two-story, so it's got 2 floors, building pieces. You're going to start the game with 4 3-story building pieces. And you're going to start the game with 3 4-story building pieces. Now, one of those first-story building pieces, one of the pieces that you get, one of the 12 that are only one level high, you're actually going to take and you're going to use it as your player marker. So to keep track of your score. So you're never actually going to use that one. And everybody else is going to do the same thing. So everybody's going to be giving one of their markers to keeping track of the score throughout the game. Then, at the beginning of the game, and there are going to be 4 rounds in the game, we'll have purple here, we'll have yellow here, and we'll have blue here. And this is actually going to turn out to be very important as we play. At the beginning of the game, you're going to choose 6 out of all of those pieces that you've got to be your pieces for the first round. But before you choose those 6, you're going to get 4 cards. Here are the cards, and the cards are really interesting in this game because where you're sitting is going to be very important for understanding how they work. So each card has a position in which you can place a building. But the purple player in this game must look at the cards this way so that they're facing the board vertically for him. He can't play his card this way or this way. He has to play it this way. But at the same time, the yellow player would look at the card this way. This is really important because the card tells you where you can place a building piece. So, for example, if this is the starting hand for the purple player, then they're going to be looking at each of these cards this way, and they can place one of their building pieces accordingly. So, for example, if we're using this one, that means that the purple player can place one of his pieces, and it doesn't matter which one, in any of the bottom left corner positions for him. But at the same time, if the yellow player had this card, then they would have to place it in the bottom left corner position for them in one of these areas. And so each card is going to work differently for the people playing the game. So you're going to look at your hand of 4 cards, and then you're going to choose 6 game pieces to use. You're going to put them on your mat, and you're basically declaring, these are the 6 pieces that I'm going to use this round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then everybody would go in circles, placing out their game pieces. So you have your cards, you have your mat where you say, these are the pieces I'm going to use this round. You have the pieces themselves, and you have the different areas on the map where you can place your buildings. Now this black piece just represents the first player, and that's going to change each round. So let's say the purple player is the first player in the first round. They have their 4 cards to start, and they've chosen their 6 pieces. Everybody else will choose 6 pieces as well. So let's say the blue player does this. 3, 4, 5, 6. And the yellow player maybe chooses to go very big to start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And everybody gets a hand of 4 cards. So everybody has their hand of 4 cards. Everybody has their 6 starting pieces, and we would go around the table choosing how to play our cards. So the purple player is the first player for the first round, and they play that card, and maybe they place a 2-story building in the bottom left corner of this area. Well, then it becomes the yellow player's turn, and they're going to place something, and they say, ooh, haha, I am going to place one of my buildings in the top right corner for me. So they can place something in any of these positions. Now, they cannot place a 1-story building on top of this 2-story building. If you want to take control of the building, if you want to be the top floor of a building, you need to have at least the same number of floors as the person who has control at that time. So this player has 2 floors. So the yellow player would have to use at least 2 floors or more to take control of that building. So let's say the yellow player takes control of the 4-story building. They want that building. They want that space. Then it would be the blue player's turn. And the blue player, well, he sees that and he thinks that's crazy. The blue player is going to play this card, and they can play one of their 6 building pieces in any of the middle areas of any of the boards. So let's say he puts a 1-story piece there, like that. And everybody, of course, gets a new card when they've played a card. So everybody gets a new card once they've played a card, and now it's the purple player's turn again. And the purple player is very upset about this situation, and so he says, haha, I will get revenge. And he'll play another card that lets him place a piece in the bottom left, or the bottom left corner of one of the cities. And again, he could go to any one of these areas. He wants to come over here. He already has 2 floors in this building. The yellow player has 4 floors, so he has to play at least 2 more floors to match that. But the purple player is a little upset, and he puts another 4 on top of that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now the purple player has 6 levels here. It is impossible for the blue player to get involved here. The most he can have is 4, and the purple player has 6 levels, so the blue player is out when it comes to this building. And then the purple player would take a new card, yellow player would go, and we would go around the board, filling up the board with the 6 pieces that we have. Once all of these have been placed out, we will score for a couple of things. We'll score for the biggest or the tallest building on the map. Then we'll score for who controls the most buildings in each area. And everybody will get 2 points for each of the areas that they control for having the most in it. And then we'll get 1 point for each building that we have control of, that we have the top floor of. And that's what control is. Having control means having the top floor. of each of individual buildings. So we would do that. That's round one. Once all of these were out, the first player marker would move. We would choose 6 new pieces. And then we would move on to round 2. And we would do it all again the same way. We would do that for 4 rounds, and whoever has the most points at the end of the 4th round is the big winner. So this is a game about getting points. It's a game about choosing when to use your big pieces and when to use your small pieces, whether you want to try to get that tallest piece, the tallest building, or whether you want to try to have lots of smaller buildings. There's a lot of decisions to be made in this game. It's a pretty good one. It's a pretty interesting one. So that's Manhattan. Thanks so much for hanging out with me here at Unbelievable English. See you soon, guys. Bye.